Welcome everybody to Congregation Tiferet Israel for our Yellow Candle program. This is the second year that we have been sponsoring through this project the high school kids, 10th graders, to go to the Holocaust Museum. But I want to tell you a little bit more about the Yellow Candle itself. The Yellow Candle Project is a special way to cherish the memories of the victims of the Holocaust. Since its inception in 1981 by the Federation of Jewish Men's Clubs, it spread to synagogues and Jewish communities around the world. We received this program because our member, Rabbi Chuck Simon, was the head of the Federation of Jewish Men's Clubs for the conservative movement. So he brought it, when he became a member, he brought it with him, and this is, again, the second year that we're doing it. All of us will light the candles in our homes at the same time in solidarity. In keeping with the 24 hours of mourning on Yom Ha Shoah, Holocaust Memorial Day, the candle too will burn for 24 hours. Right. Another way to honor the victims of the holiday of the Shoah is to visit the Holocaust Museum. This is the second year our shul will contribute to Greenport High School, which used the funds to transport 10th grade students to the Museum of Jewish Heritage in Manhattan last year. And this year, they went to the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center in Glen Cove. Both years they came afterwards and joined us on Friday night service to share their impressions. And these are kids that study about the Holocaust, but you know that there are a lot of things competing for their attention. So how much can they really know without the experiential event of going to the museum? This is a noble cause of education. We assume that people know about the Holocaust and the evil that the hate and intolerance that it produced. In the words of Elie Wiesel, the Holocaust was a war against the Jews, but it was also a war against humanity. That is why the Holocaust must concern us all. I sat behind Elie Wiesel in synagogues for many years, and I'm sure he would have said the same about the anti-Jewish chants these days. With the rise of anti-Semitism across our own nation and throughout the world today, we are reminded once again that not forgetting is not a choice. I never thought that the Jewish people would be in this vulnerable situation again. Just as Passover reminds us that we are threatened in every generation, October 7th and its aftermath was a proof of that. Students who chant death to other students on American campuses. The occupied Hamilton Hall at Columbia University was the building I studied at just last semester, with no doubt with some of the occupiers. Jews who survived the Holocaust always say that the most hurtful feeling was that it was done by their neighbors, people who lived alongside and studied with. Some, of course, were the righteous among the nations that saved their neighbors. The key is education. The Yellow Candle Project serves as a reminder that the Holocaust was not just a tragedy of the Jewish people, but a tragedy of all humanity. We have this evening 4 synagogues of the East End, part of the East End Jewish Community Council. For many years we did it together in Riverhead, but since COVID, kind of everybody did their own thing, so it's very good that we're coming back together. I would like to, before I give it to the next synagogue to give their impression and offer a prayer, which will be the North Fork Reform Synagogue, and then we'll have Temple Adatz Israel from Sag Harbor. I think Bensi is here.
Bensi is on.
He is on Zoom, yeah.
And I don't see his face, but he's there.
Yeah, he's probably on the next page. We'll get you on it. And then lastly, the Jewish Center of the Mauritius, from Center Mauritius, we'll have Rabbi Margie Sella. So the next is the North Fork Reform Synagogue, Rabbi Barbara Sheryll. And I would just want to chant Psalm 23 as we do in every memorial. מזמור לדוד, אדוני רואי לא אחסר, בינו דשא ירביצני, על מי מנוחות ינהלני. נפשי אשובר, נפשי אשובר, ינחני במעגלי צדק למען שמו. גם כי אלך בגיא צל מוות, לא אירא כי אתה עמדי, שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני, תערוך לפני שולחן נגד צורריי, דשנת ושמן ראשי כוסי רוויה. אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. Adonai is my shepherd, I shall not want, giving me repose in green meadows, leading me beside the still waters to revive my spirit, guiding me on the right path, for that is God's essence. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your staff and your rod comfort me. You prepare a banquet for me in the presence of my foes. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and kindness shall be my portion all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of Adonai forever.
Amen.
Rabbi Barbara? Someone has to mute it there. Okay. Sorry.
Wow. Hine ma tov u'manayim. How wonderful for us to all be here dwelling together. And as Rabbi Gadi said, it is so nice to be back together for this Yom Ha Shoah. I was uncertain if there was a special greeting for Yom Ha Shoah. So I researched and found out that because Yom Ha Shoah occurs during the month of Nisan, we find ourselves trying to balance the joy that we are instructed to increase during the month with the seriousness and solemnness of the Holocaust, being the month with the seriousness and solemnness of the Holocaust being a time to remember. I learned it would be inappropriate during the month of Nisan to alter our behavior to remember an event that invokes feelings of mourning. Thus, the proper greeting is the same as on any other normal weekday or Shabbos. Shalom. With this in mind, I thought, how does one invoke feelings of mourning, such as sadness and anger, when there is something to be sad and angry about? And then I hear Margot a child of the Holocaust survivors, say year after year. It is our responsibility to remember and teach. L'dor vador, from generation to generation, we pass down the Torah of creation and our exodus from Egypt. Why? On Yom Ha Shoah, we are given an opportunity to focus our energies on the positive and neutralize our sadness with the joy we are instructed to increase during the month. This helps us to effectively present the facts. We are the last generation who actually knew the survivors. From now on, Margot said, future generations will only be able to access the knowledge from historical records. That responsibility weighs on me, she said, and that's why we have to call out hate and anti-Semitism when we see it and not ignore it, or think that it's not going to happen here. It can happen anywhere.
It is happening here.
For us, the most important lesson we learn is that anti-Semitism is insidious. It starts with words and ends up in violence. That's how the Holocaust happened. And we can see this for ourselves any given day on the news. Our mindset affects the perspective we have of what we learn and remember. The guest blog on the ADL.org website by Sue Parker Gerson is titled Gratitude on Yom Ha Shoah. It takes a positive approach that evokes gratitude, not feelings of mourning, and allows us to make the memories of those who perished during the Holocaust memories for a blessing by showing gratitude for the life that we have. When I was younger, I remember learning the Golden Rule in Hebrew school. And as an adult, I learned from Hillel the whole of the Torah is what is hateful to you, do not do to your fellow. The rest is commentary. And when my now 26-year-old son was 12, his elementary school moving up classes theme was Gandhi's Be the Change You Want to See. If one were to apply these universal concepts and Jewish and Buddhist wisdom, one can only imagine what a world filled with people living by these words would be like. When we look at the Torah as a record of our story, and we apply the lens of love and positivity rather than hate and negativity, one might see that the Israelites, after winning the battle and invoking divine curse on the Amalekites and their future generations, could have something done differently. And maybe the wars that we are experiencing in the past and today can be brought back to that. We are thankful to all of you for being here today and giving us this gift of commemorating and honoring the lives lost and helping us to educate and remember and make their memories a blessing. Yesterday's history, which we need to learn from. Tomorrow, it's a mystery. But what we do today affects our tomorrows. What if today we invoke divine blessings on our enemies? I don't know if that approach will work. I don't know if it's been tried. But why not? If not now, when? Shalom.
May not be here tomorrow. You gotta do what you can today.
Thank you, Rabbi Barbara. And I was asked to chant El Maleh Rachamim in this part of the service. So as I chant El Maleh Rachamim, God full of mercy, this, specifically for the parish of the the 6 million. How about we light the candles now, so you can come around. I don't know if there's candles for everybody, but whoever brought one will come around, but you can also just stand together, and I'll be here. I did bring my candles, so somebody else can light it for me in this one. And maybe we can announce the name of the child that we light the candle for. So for me, it's Therese Smuel. She was 12 years old in France.
Couldn't we just do regular yurtzeit candles if there are people here who would like
Yeah,
to light?
you can see. You can do regular if you have your other candles.
Is there anybody who
Absolutely.
doesn't have a candle to light
Absolutely.
and wants
I
one?
don't
Yeah, let me
Of
get a
course.
couple.
Rabbi, Rabbi,
Yes.
can you ask Barbara to please mute? Can you ask Barbara Ann to please mute?
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah, I
you.
did.
Barbara.
I'm-
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so just whoever wants to start first. Barbara, you want to start the process? Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure to the souls of our brethren and sisters who perished in the Shoah, the Holocaust, men, women, and children of the house of Israel who were slaughtered and suffocated and burned to ashes. May their memory endure and inspire deeds of charity and goodness in our lives. May their souls thus be bound up in the bond of life. May they rest in peace. Let us say, Amen.
Amen. Yevel
מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, המצא מנוחה נכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים, לנשמות כל אחינו בני ישראל, שנטבחו בשואה, אנשים, נשים וטף, שנחנקו ונשרפו ושנהרגו, שמסרו את נפשם על קידוש השם, בגן עדן תהי מנוחתם. אנא בעל הרחמים, הסתירם בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמותיהם. אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו בשלום על משכבותיהם. ונאמר אמן.
That's something I would do. It's my trick.
Light them all.
Light it again, get it.
If you need a candle, they're on the bench.
And are people lighting it at home? I guess they.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's some here that needs to be lit.
Yes, we are.
Light them all.
No,
Light them
no,
all.
I want to
Because they
light my
belong to
own.
people.
Don't light them all. Please.
Get it, get it.
עיר המעלות, וסיינה אל ההרים, מאין יבוא עזרי, עזרי מעם אדוני, עושה שמיים וארץ, אל יתן למוט רגלך, אל ינום שומרך, הנה לא ינום ולא יישן שומר ישראל. אדוני שומרך, אדוני צילך, על יד ימינך, יומם השמש לא יככה והריח בלילה, אדוני ישמורך מכל רע, ישמור את נפשך, אדוני ישמור צאתך ובואך, מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם.
That goes to age 10.
One of the Holocaust survivors is currently a hostage. He's 87 years old, if he's still alive.
You
Can you
know her
imagine
name?
living like that twice? In
They
one life.
they had they interviewed grandchildren of Holocaust survivors in Israel that were at the October 7th and had to relive that. So the difference, of course, is that we have, of course, the state of Israel, and Jews still, the other half of the Jewish world lives in America, pretty much, and it's still a safe place. Hopefully not going to be going, it's still, you know, if you're not on campuses or in places, in general, we're not being persecuted like in the 1930s. Hopefully it's not going to go there. That's the, but we're definitely in a slippery slope.
For those of you who want to know, the gentleman who was held hostage, who's a Holocaust survivor, is Shlomo Monsieur. That's his name.
So, and now that we've lit the candles, like the other two synagogues, to reflect and to offer prayer. We have next synagogue is Temple Adas Israel in Sag Harbor, and we'll have a reflection by Bentzi Tepper. And Bentzi, if you speak, oh, here you are. I'm gonna do a pin here. Okay, good. Okay.
Tell me, can you hear me, Rabbi?
Yep. You see
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm here as a representative of Temple Adat Israel in Sag Harbor, New York, your sister congregation. I wish that our rabbi was with us tonight. Unfortunately, he was unable to join. And I don't have prepared words because I didn't know that I was going to be speaking. But at this solemn event, I would like to just say a few things. First, I would like to say that we're honored as a temple to be part of the East End Jewish Community Council and to share our support with our fellow Jews at this very solemn event. God teaches us in the Torah portions over the past few weeks and leading to the one that's coming, Kedoshim, that God commands that we are and to be a holy people. And as a holy people, we are commanded not to lower ourselves to that of our enemies and to engage in evil. And in doing so, our hope is that we can provide tikkun olam and reparations to the world, especially when the horrors rise up against us. So it is with that hope that I pray that each of us and each of our congregations can be that holy congregation and be a light among the nations to bring God's love and healing to a very broken world. And with that, I would again like to say that we are honored to be part of this holy congregation of congregations this evening.
Amen.
Yashikoah.
Amen.
Thank you.
And thank you, Bentzi. And we have Rabbi Margie Sella from the the Jewish Center of the Mauritius. Just have to see where she is.
Can you please make me a host or a co-host so that I can share something on the screen?
Yeah, I just have to identify you where you are. Oh, here it is. Co-host. And I'll do the pin here.
Okay. So, so first of all, let me say I am honored also to be participating this evening and representing the Jewish Center of the Mauritius in this this awesome program for this evening. And what I am going to share with you, because I'm not there in person, I would like to share with you some reflections that I wrote back in 2013. I had the privilege to go on an adult trip to Poland. And we visited in the I think it was 10 days that we were there. We visited a number of we visited 3 different concentration camps as well as cemeteries. And I was profoundly affected by this trip. And when I came back, I sat down with my computer and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote because I felt there was so much that I had to express. So this is edited. It is not the whole text of what I wrote, but I would like to share this with you this evening in the spirit of Yom Ha Shoah. It is called "The Trees Bore Silent Witness" because throughout the week that we were there, very often we came across trees, live trees, and trees being used as metaphors. Poland, July 2013. We have come to see what has become of the Jews of this land. The cemetery in Warsaw is vast, bearing testimony to a long and thriving history. How many generations of righteous men and women are buried on these grounds, O God? Rabbis and scholars, writers and artists, philanthropists, doctors and moels, and women who are generous with their tzedakah. More than a millennium ago, it was that you, O God, gave a message to the wandering Jews of Europe. Pauline, you told them, rest here and life will be good for you. Who would have believed then that one day this promise would expire? How many graves in this cemetery, O God, show headstones with trees snapped in half or tree trunks with no roots or limbs? Just as the life of these trees was cut short, the occupants of these graves were deprived of bearing fruit. The Umschlagplatz, the gathering point. Over 300,000 Jews began their final journey from this spot, boarding the trains which would take them for resettlement. The arch over the memorial shows a field of broken trees. The memorial itself is broken in two. We all looked to see if our names were on the list of common first names carved into the walls. But wait, look between the shattered pieces of the memorial, and what do we see? A living tree, towering high over the carved stones as if to say, we are still here. A beautiful message, no doubt, but we would have preferred, oh God, for there to have been no Umschlagplatz, no rail cars, no transports, no Majdanek. As we entered the parking lot, there was a large tree lying on the ground. Its leaves were all attached still, but it was bent and broken right at its base. It was warning us, beware of what you will see when you enter this place, for you will never be the same. Like those who came before us, we did not heed the warning. The monument at the entrance to the camp warned us that the way in was not difficult, descending on an easy incline. Once there, however, the way out was a steep staircase, almost impossible to navigate. Still, we continued on. We entered the gas chambers with their blue-stained walls, saw the unused cans of Zyklon B and the shower heads waiting to receive them. We saw thousands upon thousands of shoes, a whole barracks filled with them. Each one had a story to tell. Some looked like my shoes. We entered the crematorium and looked into the ovens, which turned so many thousands of people, your people, O God, into ashes that rain from the sky. You have told us that our Torah, your Torah, is a tree of life for those who hold fast to it. In Majdanek, O God, the Nazis made a liar out of you. Many held fast to your Torah, many quickly abandoned it. In the end, it did not matter. As long as the sap which ran through their veins was comprised of Jewish blood, it became a tree of death to them. As we approached the end of the path, we saw another tree. This one was vibrant and full of leaves and tall, so tall. Surely it must be more than 70 years old. What unspeakable horrors have you witnessed, tree? Were you here during the harvest festival when over 42,000 Jews were slaughtered in one day? 18,000 of them right here at this spot? If you could talk, what would you tell us? And would we have the strength to listen? Auschwitz-Birkenau. Graceful willow trees stood beside the path as we entered the grounds of the camp. Passing through the gate, we were greeted by tall, leafy trees which obscured part of the infamous mocking sign, Arbeit macht frei, work will make you free. The streets we walked on looked like they could have been a college campus. The trees which lined them silent partners to the deception. We saw the barracks where 500 human beings were crammed in a space meant for 50 horses. We saw the block where cruel medical experiments were performed by those whose Hippocratic oath had become the oath of a hypocrite. We saw the wall where prisoners were murdered by firing squads and the gallows used for others, making them ominous warnings of what punishments awaited those who committed the smallest of crimes. And then we entered a building we were told contained material proofs of crimes. And what did we see there? A room full of human hair, some of it woven into fabric. A room full of talitot, a room full of eyeglasses, a room full of shaving brushes, a room full of shoes, a room full of suitcases, most with identifying names and addresses, a room full of pots, a room full of tiny shoes, oh God, bearing witness to the 1.5 million children separated from their mothers whose lives were taken from them. Innocence, innocence. What could they possibly have done, oh God, to deserve to die so young? We came to the crematorium. Entering the gas chamber, I could see the scratch marks on the walls. Once more, we looked into the throats of the ovens which consumed so many bodies. And once more, we walked back out into the brilliant sunshine. Leaving Auschwitz, we came to Birkenau and entered by walking along the same train tracks which brought so many thousands to this awful place. We stood at the spot of the selections. We walked the entire length of the tracks, for that is how long each train was as it entered the camp. Surely the other trees of the garden must have silently pleaded with Eve and Adam not to eat the fruit of the tree of life, to be content with their lives as they were. Then as now, we did not have the ability to hear or heed the warnings of the trees. We wanted more, oh God, we wanted to be like you. We saw the remains of 2 more crematoria, the steps where as many as 500 descended at once, the room where they were made to undress, the gas chamber and the ovens, and all in the shadows of magnificent, majestic trees. How is it possible, oh God, that they could thrive in this place? In Gan Eden, you gave Adam a name, and he in turn named his wife and all of the animals. In Auschwitz-Birkenau, we were stripped of our names and our identities, known only by the numbers burned into our arms. In Gan Eden, you clothed us when we were naked. In Auschwitz-Birkenau, you abandoned us when we were naked. In Gan Eden, we wanted to know the difference between good and evil. In Auschwitz-Birkenau, we witnessed pure evil. The cemetery in Lodz, another memorial, this one dedicated to the memories of those evacuated from the ghetto. A smokestack stands guard over a stack of bent, broken, and lifeless tree limbs. It tells us the fate of most of the people who once lived here. Broken, dead, cut off from their people with no one left to say Kaddish for them. All the way on the right side, under the imperfect six-branched menorah, we noticed a single living branch with its leaves still intact. It is reaching up towards what? The sky? You, God? Or the ashes of the hundreds of thousands who perished after deportation? Treblinka, one of 4 death camps built by the Nazis. The trees in this place were co-conspirators with the killing machine. All the buildings which once stood here were destroyed by the Germans in an effort to hide the evidence. We studied a scale model of what the camp once looked like. There were no inmates' barracks here, save for the Sonderkommando, who were charged with transporting, burning, and disposing of the bodies of their fellow Jews. How many of them, oh God, recognized a relative or friend among the dead? The living quarters for the SS men and their families, located on the opposite side of the camp, even included a petting zoo. How ludicrous that they could care for animals while the stench of burning human flesh constantly filled the air. The greatest deception was perpetrated by the trees which lined the 2 sides of the Himmelstrasse, leading directly from the trains to the gas chamber. Their leafy boughs obscured the view of what really existed beyond Heaven Street, as more than 800,000 Jews in 13 months walked down its path to certain death. In Gan Eden, O God, you denied us access to the tree of life. Why, O God, did you not deny us access to the tree of death called Treblinka? As we entered the site of the camp, it looked like we could have been entering a park anywhere in the world. The beautiful trees which grew there were planted by the Nazis to cover the grounds after they destroyed all of the buildings. They stand in denial of the truth of what happened here. Once again, we stood at a larger-than-life monument and conducted a memorial service. And yet, this time was different. Here in this field where so much death occurred, 7 living branches, each one a child of survivors of the Shoah, stood together, proudly waving the flag of our beloved Eretz Israel. Each one had found evidence of their families having been here, in gravestones, in lists of names of victims, and in places in towns where their ancestors once walked. They were there to show us all that despite all the plans of the Nazis, despite the 6 million lives so senselessly and cruelly taken, despite the trains, the camps, the gas chambers, and the crematoria, despite it all, we, your chosen ones, continue on, O God, moving forward in the shadow of their memories. Like the trees, I, O God, will bear witness to what I have seen. But unlike the trees, O God, I will not be silent. And I wrote that on July 23rd of 2013. And I would now like to turn to the words of the special Mourner's Kaddish for the victims of the Holocaust. So if you are able to, please rise at this time so that you can follow along with me. Yit Gadal, Auschwitz, V'yit Kadash, Lodz, Shemei Rabbah, Honar, Be'alma, Divra, Yute, Babi Yar, V'yamlif malchutei, Maidanek, B'chayechon, V'yomifon, Birchanel, Uv'chayei, B'chol Beit Yisrael, Kovno, Ba'agala, Uvizman Kariv, Yanovshka, V'imru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mivorach Olam Elalmei Almaya. Let me bring up the other one.
You finished the copy?
Yitbarach v'yishtabach Theresienstadt v'yitpoar v'yitromam Buchenwald v'yitnaseh v'yitadar Treblinka v'yitale v'yitalal Vilna Shemei Dukudsha Bergen-Belsen Baruch Hu La'ela Mauthausen Min Kol Berchata V'Shirata Dachau Hush Bechata V'Nechamata Minsk Da'amiran B'Alma Warsaw V'Imru Amen Yehi Shloma Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen Usei Shalom B'Mromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen.
Thank you very much, everybody, and you may be seated. And thank you very much, Rabbi Sarah. And we're going to move the pinpoint. Gallery. Okay. Lastly, on our program is an amazing play by Leah Friedmann. I have not heard that one specifically, but I've heard other plays that she read and wrote and read. And this is a personal story, right? So you will introduce it before you start. Here, come in, and we prepared a bima for you.
Okay.
I'll move it a little bit this way. Actually, what do you want to say? Let me move that.
Oh, thanks. Though April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. And if it's raining, have no regrets. La 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 la. A Bronx Shabbos with Rachel and her cousin Rachel. Rachel lights her Shabbos candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotov, v'tzivonu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat. Run, Rachel! Cousin Rachel, run to the Bronx, to 811 Tinton Avenue, corner 186th Street, apartment 3D. America! Right next to where I live, they dynamited down a house. They left me this empty lot with slivers of something in the dirt. Run, Rachel, run! 3D, it's the third floor. You can't Miss it, you don't have to knock. The door is always open. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for its song. La 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 la. Dirt in my cousin's Rachel's eyes, she cannot see. Dirt in my cousin's ears, she cannot hear. Dirt in my cousin's nose, she cannot smell. There is dirt in my cousin's mouth, she cannot make a sound from the throat. Close your eyes, my cousin Rachel. Wait for your prince to come, to kiss you on the lips, to wake you. But your prince does not come. You're not Sleeping Beauty on a stage, in a play. You're only Rachel from a shtetl in Zlaczew, Poland. And you are dead. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for its song. Rachel, my cousin who I have never known, whose voice I have never heard, my cousin whose hand I have never held, come! We'll search for a sliver of something in my empty lot. If you hold a sliver of something up to the sun, let the sun shine through it. You can see how all the colors happen, like diamonds. I save the best ones. This one is almost the best one, but it isn't. Good Shabbos, Rachel. Who's in my empty lot? It is I, your cousin Rachel. My cousin is dead, shot, 1942, April 3, buried. Yes, buried, alive, together with my mother. My mother's sister. Yes. Let me see your face, Rachel. Come. Oh. But you're a child. I am 12 years old, almost 13. I am 92 years old, almost 93. A postal card came, Rachel. A word, rumor. My mother screams, "Let it be only a rumor!" She rips a sheet from the laundry line, tears it apart with her own 2 hands, screams. Me and my sister, we have the same color eyes. Tell me, what color were your mother's eyes, Rachel? Tell me from your own lips. Give me an answer, damn it! I couldn't help you. I was jumping rope, double Dutch, bouncy, bouncy, balling. My sister's name is Paulie. Playing patsy, onesie, twosie, threesie, foursy, fivesy, sixsies, sevensy, eightsy, ninesy, tensy. Playing under the showers. Showers for the kids on my block in the Bronx. PAL. Police Athletic League. In the summertime. Did the kids on your block in the Bronx, did they die under the showers? No. No one died under the showers. We were hot and sticky and sweaty. It was summer. So the PAL comes with showers. A guy named Arthur. He wears thick glasses. He's in charge. He's nice. He even puts on plays. He even puts on Sleeping Beauty. He even makes me be the prince. My mother had one foot on the boat to America, Rachel. Listen. At the last minute, she ran home crying, "Mama, Mama, I cannot stay away. I cannot leave you, Mama." My mother raised her hand. "I'll go in your place. Let me go to America." Our grandmother says, "No, no, no. I will not permit. You are too young, 15. Too young to go across the ocean by yourself on a boat. No." My mother pleaded on her hands and knees until our grandmother gave in. My mother showed me how she waved like this. She knew she would never lay eyes on those faces again. Left August 1921. There was a quota. Came to America September 1921. On my mother's passport. Don't you dare blame me, Rachel. My mother had guts. She had the guts. Don't blame me that my mother ended up singing American songs instead of your mother. Not my fault. I ended up getting A's in arithmetic in the Bronx instead of you. PS 51 on Fox Street, Bronx. Your mother's name was Mottle, am I saying it right, Rahel? Our mothers had the same color eyes, the same color hair. My mother was taller than your mother, by an inch and a half. They didn't take a microscope and examine everything, the this, the that. So they let my mother into America on my mother's passport. There were thousands of girls on that boat, Rachel. Thousands. Your mother could have been one of them. She should have been one of them. All the way on the bottom, my mother was sick, throwing up the whole 10 days. Her name was Rose. In Poland, she was called Reisel. What is the difference what their names were? Mottle, Rose, Mottle, Reisel. My mother still had to hide me under her dress. They were chasing us into the woods. When and where, I do not remember. I did not write it down. How old I was, I do not remember. I did not write it down. Whatever your age was then, Rachel, was my age too. Both of us born 1931. Me, June 26, you, June 9. So I am older than you, Rachel, by 2 weeks. Can you imagine? 1931, 1932, 3, 1939, The Wizard of Oz, Wuthering Heights, Gone with the Wind. I had such a crush on Clark Gable. Hitler marches into Poland, September 1, 1939. And that very day, September 1, 1939, my father, his cousin Clara, buys me a brand new flower girl dress and a basket with blossoms, blues and purples and pinks and greens, reds and tiny white stars, white circles, ovals. I wrote it down. And even tiny squares and triangles. My father's cousin Clara points. You will walk down the aisle of the synagogue. You will drizzle the pieces of blossoms to the left, and you will drizzle to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, until I got to the rabbi, and I stayed there until my cousin Clara's wedding was done. Did they take a picture of you as a flower girl, Rachel? They forgot. But at the train station, listen to this. Rachel, my father's cousin Clara, wearing her bride's dress, they squash her into an animal car for cows with all the women and all the children. All the children. I said to my father, Papa, where are all the... Where is Cousin Clara going, Papa? A man yells out, Auschwitz! Oh, so the brand new flower girl dress was for nothing. Not for nothing, Rachel, because whenever I want, I close my eyes and I can see how my flower girl dress is very, very, very pretty. Light yellow, and underneath, I wrote it down, Rachel, there's a slip attached. Watch how I slide my finger, this finger, through your Shabbos candle flames. Fire, fire. Watch how this finger does not burn. Watch how they take away the little girls from their mothers. Why did that happen, Rachel? Why? Why didn't someone stop that? Why didn't somebody stop them from taking away little girls from their mothers? What happened to those little girls? I do not know. But listen to this. A Nazi tells me to stand against a wall, so I do it. Take your clothes off. So I do it. The Nazi says, be naked. So I do it, even though I am shy of that. What else the Nazi did, I would not write of it. The Nazi makes me bleed. Rachel, did you see my mother? Did you see my mother? No, 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 no. Mama, Mama, did you see my mother? Rachel, did you see my mother? I couldn't help you, Rachel. There were millions of mothers, millions in the same gray, dirty dress. Not one of them was mine, not one of them was my mother. Be my mother, Rachel. I can't be your mother, I'm your cousin. Give me your hand, Rachel. We'll search for a sliver of something in my empty lot. Oh, your hand is sweaty. Oh, the sweat is in your hand, Rachel. I no longer sweat. Do you have a pencil, Rachel, and paper? We don't write on Shabbos in the Bronx. Oh. Oh. Smoke. Fire, fire, fire. Burnt pieces of thigh, burnt pieces of arm, of belly, of breast, of neck, of eye, of tongue, of knee. The terrible smell, Rachel. I must write of the terrible smell. You have to wait until tomorrow. You have to wait until Shabbos is over. And keep listening for its song. My father, he took me for a walk one time, Rachel. We passed a photography store. My father holds my hand even tighter. I must have a picture of you, Rachela. The photography man gives me a doll to hold if I will give him a smile, but he clicks the camera anyway. The photographer's doll, she came out very nice. Doll. D-O-L-L. Doll. I'm forgetting how to spell it, Rachel. Doll. D-O-L. Doll. Which is it? How can I write of the little girls' faces if I forget how to spell? Spelling doesn't count, Rachel. Spelling is not significant. Be my friend, Rachel. If you will be my friend, I will be your best friend. You made a difference, Rachel. Do you want something to eat? No, thank you. I'm never hungry. A little something to drink? I'm never thirsty. Do you have to go to the bathroom? No more. Do you get your period? What is period? Your monthly. Once I had it, just once, before I was shot, before my 12th birthday. Oh, my cousin. Let me be your prince. Let me wake you. Let me knit you woolen socks for your birthday and a warm sweater. I'm never cold. Let me buy you a bow for your hair. A big bow? I like to wear a big white bow to the side. I'm tired, Rachel. I'm old. I need to sleep. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. La 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 la. And keeps listening. As my father lay dying, I heard him ask, "Could I have a cooking model?" My mother, and these are her exact words, Rachel. "No, I cannot do one more thing for you." Then she stands up from the sidewalk. I watch her wend her way through women and children clutching their bundles close. I watch her turn the corner. I wait. I watch her come back. Something's in her hand. She feeds my father little by little. My father tries so hard. Thank you, Motto. I'm sorry I had to bother you. My mother closes her eyes for a second. I watch my mother open her eyes. She sees my father is dead. A man shovels my father into an old cart, once filled with Shabbos flowers, now piled to the top with skin and bones of bubbies and zadies, uncles and aunts, brothers and sisters. Yiskadal v'yiskadash, Shemei Rabbah. Look, Rachel, the first star. Look. Shh, I'm trying to sleep. Look, starlight, star bright. Shh, first star I see tonight. I wish I may. I wish I might have the wish I wish tonight. Please do not let the Hitler man come to the Bronx. Doll. D-O-L-L. Doll. Let me sleep, Rachel. Let me sleep. Am Yisrael Chai.
Amazing.
Okay.
Be careful, she's stepping down.
Yes.
I think I need help coming down.
Yes.
Oh, first of all,
Susan,
yes.
We're finished right on time. The last thing I would like us to do is to sing Hatikva, and it's in our prayer books.
Now listen.
Okay. Oh.
On page 395, and I want to, before we conclude with Hatikva, would like to, what? Yes, we invite you, of course, after the community room. We have some refreshments. And also, I want to thank, of course, you that came and online, and the synagogues that participated in this evening, and really, Am Yisrael Chai, and never again. Please rise for the Tikva, page 395. Od balevav penina, nefesh Yehudi homiya, ulfatei mizrach kadima, סופיה. עוד לא עבדה תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו,